Hi friends, Krista here. Thanks for stopping by Books and Jams. I'm so excited that you are here today. I realized I have one more kind of wrap up of 2025, and that is these 5-star predictions that I made, I think maybe October. And I said I was going to be done with them by the end of the year. And I technically was, but I just never had time in the midst of all of the Vlogmas videos. I didn't make the space to fit this in. So I'm going to wrap up these 3 5-star predictions, as well as share with you 4 more 5-star predictions that I have for this beginning quarter of 2026. If you watched my favorites video from 2025, you will know that 2 of these books made it onto my top 10 list of the year, which is a pretty good indication of how this round of 5-star predictions went. But I will start with the one that I did not give 5 stars to, and that is The Nature of Disappearing by Kimmy Cunningham Graham. I had thought this would be really, really good because I loved These Silent Woods by her, and that was definitely a 5-star read. So I had very high hopes for this one. And while I did find myself very compelled to read it, it's not super long. I was invested in the story, but it didn't live up to me, to what I found in These Silent Woods. In this story, we follow a young woman who has kind of gone off the grid. Something happened to her and she decided to go live off grid. She leads people on survival skill outings, experiences, teaches people how to fish and live off the wild and all of that stuff. And she kind of has done this because of a situation that happened a couple of years ago with her boyfriend. And when he comes back into her life, it's because one of their friends has gone missing. Her best friend has gone missing. And so she kind of comes out of isolation to help track down her best friend. And I just found that I didn't care about the characters as much. One of the things I loved about These Silent Woods is the morally gray aspect of things. And I didn't have that same vibe here. I kind of off the bat knew some of the things, some of the twists and turns that were coming down the pike, but I didn't know everything. I didn't figure out everything, but I just didn't really like the characters. And for me, in order for me to love a book, I've got to love the characters, or at least understand them a little bit more. I liked some of the side characters in Emlyn's new path that she's kind of struck out for herself, but I didn't love her best friend. I didn't love the boyfriend. I didn't love the conflict. So this one was 3.5, 4 stars. Pretty good. Like, very compelling still. Kimmy Cunningham Grant can still pull me in with her story. And the setting is definitely a big part of the story, which I always love. So without giving like oodles of descriptions, you really felt like you were there in the wilderness with Emlyn and crew. I think I'll do No Two Persons next because I don't think that this was a full 5 stars. If I remember correctly, maybe 4.5, 4.75. I don't do quarter stars. I probably rounded it up to 5 stars, but this stands out to me because it was so different. In this story by Erica Bauermeister, we follow this book from inception to publication and then through multiple people who've read it. We follow 9 different people who encounter this story, from the author, the editor, the publisher, people who read it down the line, and how it impacts their life and kind of what they're bringing to it. It just was so unique and powerful. And the truth of it is, a story can hit us all so differently based on what we're bringing to it, right? We all have our lived lives, our lived experiences, and we can all read the same book and get different things out of it, like it to different degrees or not like it. In large part, that's because of what we're bringing to the story. So I loved this look, a book about a book, but in a very thoughtful way. It almost was a series of connected short stories. Each section kind of lived on its own, but there were some through lines throughout. Yeah, I really loved it. It's one that I thought about quite a bit afterwards, and it did make it onto my favorites list. So very, 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 very close to a 5-star, but you know what? Let's just give it 5 stars. We'll call it a win. And then a definite win, obviously, is My Friends by Frederick Bachman. This one was a 5-star read for me. Bachman I just love his writing. And I know that he's not for everybody, but he is for me. There are so many little quotes and from sentence to sentence, things that made me stop and think and pause and cry and laugh. So poignant at times, so thoughtful, so hard hitting. Honestly, this one, we follow Louisa I'm always impressed that I can remember her name because I often don't remember characters' names. But Louisa is really our main character in this one. And she has lived a really tough life in her young years. She's a teenager. And something that she has always held on to was this postcard of an art print. And she kind of tracks down this art showing gallery where this art piece is going to be. So she goes there through the course of things, meets the artist, and then gets connected with people in his life. And we are taken back in time to when the artist created this painting and the summer of friendship between these 14-year-olds, the artist and his friends. And we learn about each of their lives and each of their traumas. It was definitely heavy hitting. Each of these kids were dealing with some very serious stuff. It was very emotional, but through it all was this friendship, this deep friendship, and Louisa learning to open up and allow people into her life as well. It was just so beautiful. I cried, I laughed. I thought it's another win, a hit out of the ballpark for me from Frederick Bachman. I just absolutely loved it. 5 stars. So not bad. Rounded up to 4-star, almost 5-star, and a 5-star. Pretty good if you ask me. I'm very, very pleased with the outcome of those predictions. And so I'm very hopeful for this little stack. This time I've chosen 4 that I am hopeful will be 5 stars. And my goal is to have them all done by the end of March. So early in April to do a wrap up. I like giving myself a goal because then I don't just kind of let them linger on and on. I will be reading these books this winter and spring. So the first one I've actually already started. But it's The List of Suspicious Things by Jenny Godfrey. Our main character in here is a kid. 12, 13-year-old, 14-year-old kid. And she lives in Yorkshire. It takes place in Yorkshire, England. And there is, in the news at this time, Margaret Thatcher just became the prime minister. And there is a killer kind of on the loose who's toying with the police and killing young women. Miv has some home life struggles. Her mom is ill and the dad is really struggling, and her aunt comes to live with them, who she doesn't love. And they're talking about leaving Yorkshire, but Miv's like, no, that's not an option. So her and her best friend decide they are going to try to solve this Yorkshire murders to make it a safer place and make sure she doesn't have to leave. So they begin to make a list of suspicious things and people, and along the way, they learn all these secrets about people in their town, about places in their town, and it's just very eye-opening for them. And I think that it's going to be fantastic, mainly on the recommendation of my friend Katie from Life Between Words on Instagram. Or no, she's Edits and Ink now on Instagram. She is my co-host, one of my co-hosts for Middle Grade March, and she read this and really loved it. And then one of my patrons also read it and says that she thinks that I will like it as well. So I'm very, very hopeful for The List of Suspicious Things. And so far, it's really good. I'll say that. I did start it. Another one, if you know me lately, within the last year or so, I've kind of gone down this rabbit hole of loving books with elderly main characters. So I just feel like this one is going to be a strong 5-star read for me. When the Cranes Fly South by Lisa Ridson. It's originally written in Swedish, which Bachman, a man called Uva. It gives me those kind of vibes. We follow this old elderly man. He's got a dog and he's reflecting on his life. I don't think it's going to be very fast paced, but I think it's going to be pretty emotional and gripping. And I've heard wonderful things about it from other people. So I'm hoping I'm one who can add my voice to the wonderful things about this book. We'll see. A book that I discovered at the National Book Festival last year and then have heard about mainly from Debbie, one of my patrons, but from others as well, and they have really liked it, is The Long March Home. This is by Marcus Brotherton and Tosca Lee, and she's an author I have read and really loved in the past. This one is a World War II novel on the Pacific Front. I think it takes place in the Philippines. I said that really funny. I'm pretty sure it takes place in the Philippines. The Bataan Death March is the center stage historical event in this book. Man, I know this one's going to make me cry. It has a gorgeous cover, but it's a gripping coming-of-age tale of friendship, sacrifice, and the power of unrelenting hope. I'm pretty sure I have not read a World War II book set in the Philippines and never read anything about the Bataan Death March. I'm probably saying that wrong, but yeah, I'm really, really excited to read The Long March Home. and I'm very hopeful it'll be 5 stars. And finally, another war book, but set during the Bosnian War. We have The Quiet Librarian by Alan Eskins. I really liked The Life We Bury by Alan Eskins. That's the only other thing I've read by him. But I do think that this one is going to be very good. I don't know much about the story of it. Here's the quick summary. After the murder of her best friend, a librarian's search for answers leads back to her own dark secrets in this heart-pounding tale about a woman transformed by war, family, vengeance, and love. Yeah. So it's set, like I said, during the Bosnian War in the 90s. And Alan Eskins has wonderful writing. I know I like his writing because I read and loved The Life We Bury. So I'm very hopeful that this will also be a 5-star read. So what do you think about my choices for this round? Am I going to give them 5 stars or not? Oof. I'm so hopeful. We shall see. So these are going to live on my rotating cart along with my TBR each month so that I see them and will reach for them. Like I said, I've already started one of them, so I should be good to finish them by the end of March. I would love to hear your thoughts. Do you make 5-star predictions? What book do you have on your TBR or on your radar that you think is going to be a 5-star read? And what do you think about the choices that I made or the ones that I read already? Did you feel the same or differently? Let's chat down in the comments below. I always love talking with you down there. And if you've made it to the end, but you're not feeling chatty, leave 5 of something. Pick an emoji and put 5 of them in the comments for 5-star predictions. You can use stars if you want to, but have fun with it. Find a random emoji and leave 5 of them in the comments just to let me know that you were here. It also helps build engagement on my videos, and that helps so that more people will see my videos and find this little corner of the internet, which is so lovely. Thank you so much for being here and spending a few minutes of your day with me. I look forward to chatting with you in another video very soon. Bye.